Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we have a jam-packed episode. We're going to be testing and seeing exactly, is there a difference between these two machines? The one is a rotary polisher, which can only be bought at Checkers Hyper. It is their house brand, which is the Schultz rotary polisher. The other one is a Ryobi, which obviously is generally available everywhere. This is the entry-level rotary polisher as well. So I actually had 4 different customers come and see me with regards to them buying a polisher and them starting out. All 4 of these gentlemen are new to the detailing scene, and they said they saw these machines and they went and bought them. And when I asked them, why specifically these machines, the biggest, and the first answer was that they were the cheapest. So coming in at 800 Rand is the Schultz, and coming in at 1,000 Rand is Ryobi. I will, however, say that the Ryobi was actually on promotion. So the normal price of this rotary polisher is 1,300 Rand. So I paid 1,000 Rand for it. So instead of, surmising and trying to get my own opinions without really knowing it, I've decided, let me go buy these rotary polishers and let me see, what is there hype? Is there some type of validation with regards to buying these machines? Would I recommend them? Of these two, which is the better machine? And going forward, would I recommend that anyone buy either of these machines? So with that being said, there's a lot to cover. I'm going to go through the ergonomics. I'm going to go through using the machine. I'll bring you guys in so you can actually see what this bonnet looks like. As you can see already, I've taped it up. So we're going to be correcting the section over here. So there's a lot that we're going to cover. You guys are going to want to stay tuned. Before we get into the next scene, I'd like to ask you guys, in the comment section below, let me know which of these polishers do you guys have? Which of these 2 polishers would you recommend one over the other? And if you've used these machines, what were your thoughts? And which machine do you think is going to come out on top between the Schultz and the Ryobi? As I mentioned, the playing fields are the same. Both sections are horribly swelled up. Lots of holograms, lots of swirl marks, lots of tiny scratch marks. So I'm really going to enjoy, doing this video, correcting this panel, so we're going to see exactly what it looks like at the end. Okay, let's get into the ergonomics. The Schultz rotary polisher. The first thing I can say, the very, very first thing, is that there is a missed opportunity here just from holding this machine, and that has got to be this part here where you rest your palm. Almost every single other polisher on the market, whether it be a dual action polisher, rotary, forced rotation, they have this rubberized. This is some hard plastic. Yeah, seriously, it's a missed opportunity from Checkers. Obviously it has a D handle for you to hold on. Another missed opportunity is, and it's for both of them, all right, same with the Ryobi, is at the front section over here. As you guys can see, it's metal. I would have loved it to have some form of rubberized grip, a handle here, instead of me having to use this. And because I don't like this bulkiness, I enjoy resting my hand on the front here and just really controlling the machine. So again, it's this is most likely just a cost reduction, but I'm thinking, what, if you could have done that and rubberize this back section here, I don't think anyone will complain if you're going to charge 1,000 Rand for this. Use that 200 Rand to improve these or make the slight improvements. It's really not heavy. So yeah, if we look here at the actual specs, it shows that it starts from 500 RPM and it goes up until 3,000 RPM. It is a 1,200 watt motor. I think about 80% of all rotary polishers on the market is about 1,200 watt in terms of their power specs. It does come with a 180 mil backing plate, which is an 8-inch if I'm not mistaken. I don't like that. That's more for your bigger wool mops. So I've obviously went and got a 5-inch mounted backing plate for the rotary polisher. Then next up, it's got to be the dowel. All right. Again, this is the third thing, or the third option, or the third, just my observation that I believe is a missed opportunity for Checkers here, is that there's no tactile feedback. So you don't feel when you're moving between the different speeds. I think when you get to the end here, yeah, when you get to the highest speed setting, that's when you get that click and it tells you you can't go any further. But I would like to know that, you know, because at some point when you're busy polishing, you're not going to be looking here, you're looking here. And I want to be able to feel if I'm moving from speed setting 3 to, and I need to ramp it up a little, I just want to go up a little bit more, and I go from 3 to 3.5. And it's happened to me where I've actually went to speed setting 4. So, and now I have to look down. So I'm just saying that's a missed opportunity. So those 3, if anyone from Checkers ever does watch this from ShopRite, with regards to upgrading your polishers, to me, honestly, that is an opportunity for you guys to make the improvements. Even if I believe if you take it up to 1,000 Rand, I definitely think whoever's going to buy this polisher will actually enjoy it just because of that. With regards to the trigger lock, it's quite nice and beefy. And then there's your trigger, it locks in place. Something else that I think the user can do at the later stage is the actual cable. It's too tiny, it's too small. Because there's a lot of power, remember you bringing in 230 volts into this machine. There's a lot of power, a lot of heat. So I would recommend at some point that you open, it's very easy. You just obviously take these, undo the screws, just remove the 2 lugs, and then just get the thicker cable. And perhaps even go like 4 meters. That'll be quite nice. So that way when you have it, you know, over your shoulder like this is hanging already. So a 4 meter will be perfect. Just make sure there's a nice thicker cable. You should be good to go. Thereafter, everything else is the same. Yeah. So if I had to rate this, polisher, I would give it out of 10, 5 out of 10. It's okay. Everything is in its place. Oh yes, I also meant to say, so obviously you have your spindle lock here. So if you want to lock the actual spindle, if you want to remove your backing plate, you want to fit a smaller one, or if you want to fit an extension, because this is obviously, it's a rotary, meaning it uses an M14 size spindle. So you can, you know, you just lock it in place, you unscrew it, screw it back on, lock it in, and then there's it. So with that being said, I think this is okay. It does, everything is where it's supposed to be. You can see everything, but there definitely is room, a lot of room for improvement. Moving on to the Ryobi. I think just from purely just feeling, you know, like back to back, this one is slightly lighter in terms of its weight. I tried to weigh it on my scale. It didn't want to. I actually got the reading once, but I don't think it was correct, because it gave me 2 readings for the Schultz at 3.2, and I went back again, it was 2.3. I tried it with the Ryobi, and it just didn't want to measure, so I don't have that information. Anyway, it's really not heavy. I mean, you know, you can dangle it. It's not going to hurt your arm or anything like that. In terms of the design, very similar to the Schultz. The first thing here, obviously I've added the D handle. Again, this one also doesn't, it's got this front end exposed. It doesn't have, I would have appreciated a cover here, some type of rubberized grip, but it doesn't have it, so I have to make use of the D handle. And the reason why you want to make use of it, because it's not covered, this thing is going to get hot, so you can't keep your hand over here over prolonged periods. Moving down, you have your speed selector here, but the first thing, I think I should have started with this. Well done, Ryobi. As you guys can see, there's a black rubberized grip here. Well done. Checkers, please learn from this. It makes this so much nicer just to know that, you know what, I can actually, my hand is in, I'm gripping properly here. Let me just, where is this pad here? Let me just put this on here so I don't scratch the surface further. So, very nice addition. I really like this a lot. Okay. You have your speed select here. Again, why this is like this, there's no tactile feedback. So again, you also have to look if you're busy using it, and you know, you're moving, it moves so quickly between the speeds that you don't know which speed. So you're gonna have to just take your eyes off here, move here, look, and go back again. Now I know I'm making it sound very dramatic, but the reality is when you start getting into the groove, you want to focus here all the time. And that small little having to take your eyes off here to come here, it does become quite frustrating if you have to do, you know, an entire car and a few cars in a day. It's going to become very frustrating at some point. So again, I don't see how all the other machines can have that tactile feedback and these machines don't have it. Yeah, I think it's also M14 spindle. You have your trigger lock here, well, your spindle lock here, not trigger lock. And you obviously you mount your pad on there if you want to have an extension or go from this 5-inch to an 8-inch backing plate. You just lock it in place there. Very easy, self-explanatory. Let me move on to this Rotary Polisher's biggest flaw. As I mentioned on the Schultz, you would press the button and then you could lock it into place. Not with this. This is the exact opposite. In order to get the machine to start, this is not a trigger lock. This is a safety lock. So you need to press this, which then releases the lock on the trigger, and then the trigger powers on the machine. So what that means is you need to constantly have your finger, hold your finger over the trigger, and that becomes a problem over a prolonged period of time. It is seriously a bad design, especially in this day and age. Ryobi, you guys can't do it. If anyone from Ryobi ever gets to watch this, I honestly believe none of your machines should ever have anything like this. The fact that I'm going to be using this machine for prolonged period of time and I need to keep my hand like this the entire time. And it's happened to me, like I mentioned, I use this machine on both of these machines on my one car. And when I move around, sometimes, you know, my grip, because I want to move my hand away, it goes off and I'm moving and now, there, I've got to start again. Again, it might sound very dramatic, but when you use it, you actually realize it's serious. I'm going to say it the way I want to say it, it's a dumb feature. It's a dumb design. You guys can do better. So to me, that is seriously its biggest red flag. With that being said, other than that, everything else is well laid out. What is quite nice about this is that on this side over here and this side over here, you actually have your brushes. You just have this little, take a star screwdriver, open up this compartment, you can access it quite nicely. With the Schultz, you have to take the whole back housing off. So it's quite nice that you can just access the brushes on either side of the Rotary Polisher. But yeah, with that being said, how would I rate this between 1 and 10? Oops, between 1 and 10. I was going to give it a 5, but this trigger lock, seriously, is very disappointing. So because of that, I'm going to give it a 4. It seriously is just very disappointing that a big company like Ryobi is actually still having this type of setup on any of their machines. So 4 out of 5. So with that being said, the Schultz seems to be in the lead by 1 point. Okay, with that being said, let's quickly jump into, I want to bring you guys and show you what the panel looks like. And then let me quickly show you guys, let me turn this around before it falls. Over here, I've got these Lake Country injection mold pads. So this one, I haven't used it. What I did was I fitted it onto my one DA polisher and I just spun it around and so the fibers just, you know, they just loosened up. This one, as you guys can see, is still new. Here's the packet here. So this is a combination of wool, microfiber, and foam. So it's meant to do, it wants to do everything. You can cut with it, you can polish with it, and you can jewel with it. But in terms of its cutting power, it's extremely aggressive. So that's why we're going to use these two, one for either one of these machines to do the cutting. And then we're going to jump into, I don't have the polishing pad here. We're going to jump into polishing with the Rotary as well. We're going to be using one of my favorite products, 3D 510. It's going to be paired, this is going to be paired with your the Eurofiber from Lake Country. Amazing cut on this compound. And then we're going to finish off with 3D 520, which is a finishing polish on a finishing pad. All right, so with that being said, let me quickly bring you guys in. You can see what the panel looks like, and then we'll get into using each of these polishers to see exactly what they do and how they do it. As you guys can see, a lot of swirl marks. Obviously my hands as I was touching the panels as well. There's hints of holograms everywhere as well, but let me quickly just zoom in so you guys can actually see. There we go. Swirl City. Come on to the side over here. Same thing as well there. So what we're going to do is we're going to just polish the section over here and the section over here, and then we'll actually be able to see what it looks like when we go onto this section. All right. Okay, let's quickly mount this pad over here. We'll start off with the Schultz Rotary Polisher. And here's 510. Let's put the 520 over here. Okay, obviously always shake. And we just want to just first make sure that all the fibers are fully primed. So let's bring it down to 1. I could get away with using that little bit of moisture, but I think it needs just a little bit more. Guys can see I'm just going to put a lot of lubricating oils in this product, so you don't need to use too much. Speed setting 1, I'm going to take it up to about speed setting 3, 3.5, around there. And I'm not going to fast forward, I'm actually just going to keep everything in real time. Not that hot, and quickly get a towel whilst I'm removing any residue. The vibration levels is actually adequate, it's not that bad. Using the product was also quite nice, as you guys saw. Didn't need to focus or take too long. And I'm just going to quickly wipe off that there. And if I look over here, so lots of holograms, lots and lots of holograms, that is to be expected. They are, however, the section over here, all the marks are gone here, and this section over here, I didn't focus too long over here, but the section over here, there's still a few more swirl marks, so I'm going to quickly just add a little bit of product, just focus on this area over here. Again, not too much, That's a bit much. I said not too much and I put too much. But anyway, just bring this down. That's nice and quick. But again, I can see the holograms. Plenty of them. And that's obviously coupled with the fact that I'm using a very aggressive pad with a very aggressive compound. Holograms are, there we go. Okay. Actually, let me put on the cool blue. All right, let me quickly bring you guys in and then we can see together what's going on here. All right, so as you guys can see, holograms, but that is a given. And let's quickly just zoom in. All right, and you go with the, and obviously there will be micro swirls, which the polishing compound will take out. But let's quickly just go over the line here, then you guys can see what we were dealing with initially. And let's come back down here. There's a slightly deeper one there. All right, as with everything, always make sure that you mix the product. You don't need to add too much product, otherwise you're gonna have a lot of sling. Okay, keep it in one. All right, so there's a lot of product I can see. I don't need to add any more product. So I'm gonna go straight from, so I was averaging with the cut, it was in speed setting 3.5. So this one I'm gonna maybe be 3, maybe I start at 3 and I'll come back down to 2.5. All right, so I did, what's that, 3 passes with the polishing and I only did 2 with the compounding. So I want to make sure that when I do the same with the Ryobi, we're going to follow the same process so we can see exactly what the result is. Make sure that all variables are the same. Let me put this aside here and bring you guys in. Let's quickly just put this on. Alright, and then we're going to focus. Let's quickly go all the way out. Okay, so the holograms are all gone. Let's quickly focus there. Go a bit slower. What's that there? What's that? Was it a scratch mark? I think I saw it. There we go. What's this? Okay, that's a scratch mark. Okay, go on to the other side. Okay, there's just residue that I didn't wipe down. But it did a good job of, if we come over here, you guys can see the difference. So the beauty part, okay, there's a very long scratch there. The beauty part is that all the holograms are gone. I just zoom out there and they just focus the light. No holograms, no marring, nothing. And if we go on over here, we come over here, let's come into the other section where the Ryobi is going to need to work. But everything else it took care of. So well done, Schultz. Let's quickly hop on over to the Ryobi and see how that does. And just to get the fibers just to have as much product as possible. Right off the bat, there is a difference in terms of the vibration levels. The Rotary on the Schultz, it's not bad. It's not bad at all because, you know, Rotary is obviously will be a lot more smoother than a dual action polisher. But I could feel something this immediately. And you guys can see also the small little drops here. Big difference. Okay. So you're going to ask, why did I add a third pass? Because remember with the Schultz, I actually went and I added more product and I gave the bottom section, so I went really quickly on top. So just to level the playing fields. And I will say, the vibration levels, even when I cranked up the speed on the Ryobi, it was a lot less than the Schultz. So okay, there it's working in its favor. However, I hated the fact that I constantly had to have my finger, you see, as you guys can see, I can't do anything. So that's nonsense, that. Seriously though, that's I call that the design flaw. But anyway, guys, Okay, so let's quickly just focus. Holograms are there, but I think, yeah, I got rid of most of the, I didn't focus on that area there, so that's why we have all of those swirl marks. If I can just see if I can get the light to go over here, that section over there, as you guys can see, I didn't focus the rotary there, but that's fine. The main areas is where I did. And if we go over there, swirl city. Again, not too much. Just a little bit there, but generally we don't need to put too much. Let's bring this all the way down so we can work the product in. Again, there's enough product on the pad here, so I don't need to add more, otherwise it'll be too much sling and it's going to be too much product that I have to work it longer. And so we're going to be doing 3 passes. All right. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come in at speed setting 3. I might go to speed setting 2.5, or I might just go to speed setting 2.5. Also, I found that the startup on this one, the slow start, is a lot better on the Ryobi versus the Schultz. The Schultz, the very first setting, it got up to speed very quickly. This one is a nice slow start to it, so very nice. Oh, that is, it was very nice, but that trigger lock, it really, I'm not exaggerating, guys, but it seriously is, it's very disappointing from what could have been an amazing entry-level machine. Or well, what is an amazing, or well, it is an entry-level machine, but I'm just saying it could have been so much better. My words ran away from me there. Let's quickly have a look here. You can clearly see where I didn't focus because I can see there's heavy scratch marks there. But that's fine. We didn't chase after defects, we were chasing after just normal paint correction. That there would require a fair amount of sanding. I mean, I can focus with the rotary there, but that's not what we want. We just want to get rid of the swirls, the haze, bring back the color, and I think we achieved that. Okay, let's quickly change the color temperature. So there's obviously going to be a lot of scratch marks, as I mentioned. There's here, over here. Let me quickly just come in here. I didn't focus there, but there, okay, there is quite a bit more swirl marks, but let's go there where I focused on. Oh, there's something there, I don't know what that is. But if you just look at the holograms, we got rid of that. Let's quickly zoom in again, and then we just focus the camera. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, what's this? What's this? What's this? What is that? Trying to see what that is. Is it, are those swirls? Or is it embedded marks? I can't see with the naked eye. Oh, okay, there I see it, there I see it, there I see it. It's, okay, let me look at the screen, because I was looking now, chasing after it with my own eyes on the bonnet. Where is it? It's actual marks. It looks like something scraped there. Okay. All right, and if we go over here, all right, you can see it looks so much better. And if we just zoom out again and we just focus the light. And there's someone trying to phone me, they can phone back. Hey guys, so what are my thoughts on these two machines? I think both of them have their place. I definitely do. However, just from using them back to back, compounding, polishing, everything, there's a definite difference in terms of the Ryobi having a little bit less vibration than the Schultz. Definitely. And I felt that both with the cutting pad and the finishing pad as well. However, I know I'm going on about this, but I promise you guys, once you use it, you will understand what I mean by when I say this trigger lock function. The fact that I can do this there, and in order for me to work here, I need to first press here, and then the moment as you guys can see, there's it in, all right? And if I just do, like if I just have to go like that, it switches off. It really is, it's a very, very poor design. And I think for extended periods of time, that is going to become a problem. So if you just have one car that you're busy with, you can definitely get by. But if you're going to use this car after car after car, they do say this is not a professional machine. It's meant for home use. But you know, as South Africans, we will use it in a professional environment. But if you're going to be using it in that manner, car after car, this is really gonna get you. You are going to get frustrated by it, and it's going to become very tedious, and you're not going to enjoy using the machine. In terms of getting the results, both of them gave me the results. So I think in that aspect, they both won. They both gave me the results that I wanted. It's just the usability of the Ryobi is better in terms of less vibration. And number two, the slow start on this is a lot better than the slow start on the Schultz. The Schultz, just the moment you put on, if it's on lower setting and you put it on, it gets up to running immediately. And obviously you just have to be careful with that with regards to how much product you have on your pad, especially if you have a wool pad. You know, especially if it's a long hair wool pad, you're gonna have it's gonna be product sting everywhere. So just be aware of that. But other than that, they both worked fine. The only other thing that I saw or that I felt was that the Ryobi ran slightly cooler than the Schultz. So again, this machine is better. So there's already three aspects where I've not discussed where this one is better. If I had to choose between the two here, immediately my thoughts would go to using the Ryobi if I could only have one. But if I'm going to use, let's say I've got quite a few cars lined up in a day, all right, I would definitely choose the Schultz in that aspect, purely based on the fact that I do not want to hold on to this trigger the entire day. I do not want to polish 2-3 cars and constantly have my finger on this trigger the entire time to get it to work. It's going to become tiresome. Your arm is going to lock up because now you have to constantly keep it like this. So from that aspect, this is a poor design that is going to count heavily against it. But if it's just one car, if I just have to just do my one car, I would definitely go for the Ryobi. If I have to do more cars, I'll overlook all the other shortcomings of the Schultz, and just purely based on the trigger, I'm going to choose this product, in all honesty. But yeah, that's it from my side, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this video was informative. I hope it gave you guys answers with regards to what, you know, what this whole point of this video was. I'd love to hear from you guys. Please let me know your thoughts. Please let me know what you think of this type of setup. I'm thinking with the next video, I'd like to use an entry-level dual action polisher with either one of these rotaries. Perhaps the Ryobi against perhaps the McAfric dual action polisher or the Torque Craft dual action polisher. And then I think later on I'll probably put this up against something like a Verrekler G-Mop rotary, or what's the other one? I think I've got the Makita, perhaps a Makita or even a Rupes. I don't know, I'll see which one I can get my hands on. But I think we'll start like a nice journey with regards to the differences between these rotaries, where this one wins, where this one is better, all this type of stuff. But I would also love to hear from you guys. You guys give me suggestions. Let me see what I can do, if I can make it happen. I'll definitely do my best to see if I can. But with that being said, please, if you haven't already done so, please consider clicking that subscribe button, then hit that notification bell. That will almost end of my future uploads. I'll also make a playlist of this type of content, so you guys can go over there and see everything to do with polishing, compounding the machines and all of that. If you enjoyed this, please smash that thumbs up. I would appreciate it. It also helps with the algorithm to push the content from this channel out, so it can reach more people. And as always, guys, and most importantly to you and your loved ones, please stay safe out there. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.